Welcome to episode 19 of our series on the surnames of Appalachia and the American South. As you know, there are thousands of surnames in these regions, so to make our task more manageable, we're focusing on pre-Civil War surnames. Each of the family names we'll examine today was requested by members in our YouTube community. Please note that I discuss surnames in the order that I received them. I really appreciate the opportunity to serve as a resource for you. I also appreciate your patience as I make my way through the hundreds of names still on our list. In case you missed the previous episode, I'll post a link to it in the description. So, today on The Vantage Point, we'll be talking about the origins and meanings of 10 common and not so common Appalachian and Southern surnames. I hope you'll join me. Let's get going. Number 1, Fox. In my home county in East Tennessee, the surname Fox is quite common. Arguably one of the most attractive actresses in B-movies today is Megan Fox. She was born in Oak Ridge, Tennessee and spent her early childhood in nearby Rockwood and Kingston. The surname is of English origin and began its existence as a nickname for someone who was sly like a fox. In England and elsewhere, the name can be spelled in various ways. Take a look at those spellings. The spelling as Fox with an AW is significant for us to think about because the name has a place in English and Anglo-American history. In Great Britain, it's celebrated annually on November 5th as a day of Thanksgiving. Why, you might ask? Guy Fawkes, for whom the date is remembered, was one of 13 conspirators who attempted to blow up King James VI of Bible fame, that is. The plot failed and Guy Fawkes, along with 2 others, were executed on 27 January 1606. Nowadays, Guy Fawkes Day is celebrated as a time of deliverance. What was deliverance from, you might ask? Well, it was from a Catholic takeover of the government. While there are some English Foxes in Ireland, it gets a bit muddy because Fox is used as an alternate surname for at least 4 native Irish families, Kearney and these. Fox is found in Scotland, but Black points out that the home for Fox is in the English Midlands. I think you can consider Fox to be an Anglo-Irish, English, or Irish surname. Number 2, Ledford. Ledford's origin is given away by ford, which is Anglo-Saxon for a place to cross a stream or river. To find the origin of Ledford, we must look to the southwest of England in the Celtic-rich area of Devon. There we find the River Lyd, which is in today Dartmoor National Park. It flows through Ledford Gorge. The surname is not found in any of the notable surname books for Great Britain or Ireland. This tells me that it's a rare English surname from a beautiful part of England. Number 3, Mason. Mason is an occupational name for one who used bricks or stones to build structures. In addition to houses, castles, and palaces, Masons also built bridges. Its origin is Anglo-Norman. Mason, like Miller and Bailey, did not just flourish in England. It's been in Scotland and Ireland since the late 12th and 13th centuries, respectively. It's now the 95th most common surname in Wales. There's little doubt that Mason can be seen as an English, Irish, Scottish, or Welsh name, depending on where one's family lived before immigrating to America. Number 4, Alexander. The personal name Alexander has a long and fascinating history. Unless you slept through Western civilization, you have no doubt heard of Alexander III of Macedon, who lived in the 4th century BC. You might know him better as Alexander the Great. As a surname, Alexander is an English spelling and pronunciation of the surname. Both Scotland and Ireland have citizens with the surname Alexander, as well as a number of alternative names that's used in lieu of Alexander. Irish Gaelic, in Scotland we find McAllister. While it's found in Wales, it's not among the more common Welsh names. The surname in Appalachia and the South could have arrived with immigrants from any of those 3 countries. Number 5, Halsey. Halsey is a Middle English surname that was derived from an enclosure or low-lying parcel of land located along a river. To me, Halsey sounds southern and country, as in country music. I'm not the only person to think that, though, about the name. In Clint Eastwood's Every Which Way But Loose, which was made back in 1978, his love interest is a country music singer named Lynn Halsey. You might find it interesting that Sandra Locke, who played Lynn Halsey, was born in Huntsville, Alabama, and raised in Tennessee. She even attended Middle Tennessee State University down in Murfreesboro. At the end of the genealogical day, though, we want to know from whence that surname came into Appalachia and the South. It's not common any place but England, so I think we're safe in calling Halsey an English surname. Number 6, Warden. It's interesting to note that we normally have a few surnames on each episode that was given to us by the Norman conquerors. Today, Warden is our first, but it's certainly not going to be our last Anglo-Norman surname. Nope. It was derived from Old French for one who served as a guardian. In a sense, that's kind of what a prison warden does in carrying out his or her duties, if you think about it. Black points out that Warden is found in the records in Glasgow that date back to the 1600s. Black contends that the surname was introduced into the Bonnie Land from Northumberland, England. A lot of Vikings there. In surveying Irish and Welsh accounts, I was unable to find a significant presence in either of those places. That tells me that in Appalachia and the South, Warden is either of English or Scottish origin. Number 7, Whaley. Whaley is a common surname in at least East Tennessee. In fact, Dr. Chris Whaley, who's from Roane County, is doing a great job as the president of Roane State Community College. Dr. Whaley's surname is not among the common names in Scotland or Ireland. So, where did it originate? Based on its paucity, it didn't originate in Wales. Harrison says that it's a locational or toponomic name in origin. That appears to be the case since there is a small village named Whaley in Derbyshire, England. It appears then that Whaley came to America from the English Midlands. Number 8, Bennett. As in the case with many surnames, Bennett has the diminutive ETT at the end, so we know it has a French origin. According to Harrison and McIsaac, Bennett is indeed a Norman surname. It's a diminutive for Benedict and ultimately the Latin Benedictus. As with many other Norman families, they didn't just stay in England in the centuries after the conquest. By the end of the 1400s, families named Bennett were established in Scotland and Ireland. Even today, Bennett is the 44th most common family name in Wales. I think you need a paper trail to determine the exact location of your line of Bennett. Number 9, Stringer. I was happy to receive a request for this surname. I had an outstanding doctoral student who later became a colleague named Stringer. The surname is traceable to Old Norse and then to English as an occupational name for one, get this now, who made strings for bows. They probably also made strings for violins and musical instruments. Those are fitting activities for an Appalachian family name, although my colleague is an exceptionally talented modern guy who works on computers and instructional technology. He's quite the professional. Black claims that the surname appears in Scottish records as early as 1456. It's not among the common surnames in Ireland or Wales, so I think we can be confident that Stringer came to Appalachia from England or Scotland. Number 10, Hewitt. Like Bennett, Hewitt was originally an Anglo-Norman surname. In the case of Hewitt, it was a diminutive of Hugh. In addition to being found in England, Hewitt was established in Aberdeen, Scotland by 1408. It also has a good representation in Ireland, especially Ulster. It doesn't appear among the more common names in Wales. Although it was originally an Anglo-Norman surname in places like Scotland and Ireland over the centuries, it blended in with the native cultures and bloodlines. Consequently, it could have English, Scots, or Irish ethnic roots here in the South. It'd be hard to beat a Y chromosome DNA test and a paper trail to locate your line of Hewitt. Well, neighbors, that's all I have for you today. I hope you got something meaningful out of our discussion. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I invite you to check out all the videos on The Vantage Point. In addition to Surnames of Appalachia and the South videos, I have other videos that cover topics that range from history to environmental studies, including, for example, the history of time zones. If demand warrants it, I'll be back soon with another episode on the surnames of Appalachia and the American South. I hope to see you then. God bless you and yours. Bye-bye.